your comments last.
Last night in the neighborhood, we talked about Windermere, and what I would like to comment on is really just on a citywide issue. I think we've got 17 stormwater pump stations, and not everybody has a pump station. A lot of people just have gravity drainage. But the American Society of Civil Engineers, they publish basic standards that a civil engineer would look to if you wanted some guidance on how to do something. They also have standards for design of stormwater collection systems, pump stations, and operation and maintenance systems for those drainage systems. The biggest thing that I think, at least I would like to see, would be we need to develop a checklist specific for each station, for each facility. And we need to start at least annually inspect these facilities. And then document. I mean, if we're already doing inspections and we're not documenting anything, then how can the city say, well, we did it right? Because it just creates a sense of, at least as a citizen, I feel like, well, you tell them you did it right. And we've had this thing here for 10 years, but there's not a single checklist, there's not a single inspection that's documented. The inspection documentation that I've seen has been general in nature. It's been where some guy drives around, looks at an unknown number of structures, and fills out a form with his name at the bottom and says, inspected lift stations and pump stations. He doesn't even say which ones he visits, and how would his supervisor know he did? I mean, we need to develop a protocol that just basic standards, if nothing else, let's just get the minimum on inspection and maintenance. That would be all I would say. Okay.
And of course, we have numerous individuals from the administration here as well. I welcome anyone that would want to come in at any time. The mayor feels well on any of these issues, but those are the points we'll do. Thank you. And these comments are being recorded, by the way, and we'll be able to respond to each one of them that are made. I'm going to ask the former council in District 3 to come forward, Mr. Charles Fraker Smith. I think he has some personal experiences with flooding and one of the things that he suggested is coming up to be more and more common. To talk about Mr. Smith.
I say good afternoon. It's showing that what we were trying to do was build some detention homes down Hudson. We brought 50
Why don't you talk to the mic, Smith?
All right, okay, I'm sorry. We wanted to develop some detention homes down, but we found out that the elevation we wanted to go to 72 feet, but we also found out that with the river and the water level, we only could do somewhere at 52 and 54 feet. So it only get the elevation of Chatham Hill maybe 2 feet. So I went to that means that was one of the systems we talked about behind Martin Park and over that way about doing the same thing, but what happened over there, we have a wetland issue, so you would have to be experienced or something on wetland. Okay, I'm going to read some statistics of they're going to have a meeting next month for the gravel and drainage. But on Guy Roberts, it's 1.67 miles long. It rained 1,069.46 acres. Chatham Lake is just about 3 miles long. It rains 1,800 acres. Bio Rapids, just about 3 miles, rain 1,800 acres of land. The bridge has been there 4 miles. It runs 2,500. Henson Bath is 4 miles, just about 5 miles. It runs 3,114 acres of land. Horseshoe Canal is 5 miles on the Little Duck. It runs 3,361 acres. By Phillips, 1.29, it runs 826.48 acres of land. Martin Park Pump Station, about 52, it runs about 337.11 acres of land. That'll give you the number of acres that these sections of these bodies had drained. Now, the best on this map right here, if we would tie in on William Van River Road and put a pump station like they have on Vine Rapids, or going down the River Bend, right there on the River Bend and Clear, have a large pump station there. The area of Chattanooga, to take that part of Chattanooga there, it would help the whole city on the other side. It would help the drainage on the other side, because you're going to take in 1,800 acres of drainage out of there, and that would help Horseshoe and other part of town. That estimation is about, it would cost about $4 million to build a pump station. So that's
one of the suggestions, yeah.
That's one of the suggestions. So thank you.
We appreciate that. Let me say this on pump stations. This council is trying to be proactive to make sure we have generators, and I think that anytime we've experienced a flood, the administration makes recommendations to us to invest dollars to eliminate the problem before we try to do it. What Mr. Simmons has mentioned certainly ties to accountability. I look forward to working with the administration, you as well, to see if we do that. Here's a gentleman, Mr. Mike Redmond, that's no stranger, that said one of the things he talked about, Mayor, that we need to make sure we're building these big boxes. It's before all of our times. I think sometimes we create problems with the concrete. I know your area is one of the concerns that I heard. Mr. Mike Redmond.
Over the area of the last 15 years, over the last 15 years, 20 years, we've built 32 subdivisions and box stores with concrete. All that concrete and no more drainage. Like Mr. Smith said, we can put a pump station, it will help the Horseshoe Canal, along with all the rest of the canals that he said. The only thing we have to do is divert Horseshoe down that way. Once we start pumping, we won't have any water backing up like we've had. And everybody now is worried, all these neighborhoods have flooded, not floods. So we're just in Maryland, we're going to get it again. We can't wait. I know it said, you said a lot of it's going to take 2 years to engineer it and get everything working in order. But we got to start now. That's all.
Great. That's Next on the list, I see Mr. Ken Bass.
Can we bring the microphone stand up a little so we can not
I
get...
think it was that. More people too. I want to bring a mic by. There you go. Don't want to get up with us, I want to bring a mic.
Council members, my name is Kenneth Lashley. I'm a local resident on 28 West. I'm here to speak my piece about drainage in the parish, basically, not so much the city. We've got McAdams Ditch, you've got the Diversion Canal, mile down, track by, middle line, by Roberts, they all go south. My Rapids is not an issue because we know we got pumps at the hospital. Came with a friend of mine last later, he's got drainage issues that have to do with leaves. He'll speak when he gets a chance. But what we need to do, and I hear this conversation about retention ponds and pump stations. We have a tributary divide in our parish, and you can go down to 4 parishes, St. Andrew, Boyle, and the other parishes. We need to clean what we have. This business of early stages. In the early 1960s, that Bob F. out, I think it's Cloverdale, Penny Acres, all that gets out, the diverter canal gets filled again. We need to take a drag line or a backhoe, put some hands in it, and go to work tomorrow. It may be in the future. Pumping into Red River, Echo was an issue. We know that. Get something done, get it done soon. Clean what we got. Not dig it, not ready to fill it according to EPA. Go in and clean what we got.
Maintenance.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Our obligation is put the money where the problems are. That's something that we can't do. We're fortunate to have bond money to tap into, as Bill alluded to earlier, we're blessed to have capital money, but we can throw after those problems. So we're going to visit here to try to hear from all of you to see where we need to be putting our dollars. We're going to use professional help with our dollars, and we have solicited help from various engineers on it. So we're going to address this issue. I see next, Mr. Nathan. Is it last name? Yes, sir.
David, my name is John Ford Baker Jr., retired city employee for about 15 years.
Yes, sir.
Live at 1335 Charlton Street. If y'all like to go to Charlton Street, all you have to do is look to Hannibal Square. And all the flooding problems we got over there on Charlton Street, and they built Hannibal Square, with all the water back on us. Now, my problem over here, I'm not worried about Goosestown, which that was phenomenal, you know, I mean, everybody's learning from that. But I get a 3-inch rain in my house, and I'm underwater all the time. My in-law, he got 17 at night, so I gotta go home tonight. I gotta take all my equipment in my car, and I gotta put it at least a foot and a half up in the air. I gotta get in jacks. I got 50 large, one car, 50 large, and I got about 20 large equipment in my garage. And I can't work out there, being on the water like that. I got 2 dogs in there, they swim. They can't swim in red water forever. I got to put them in the house. I got some pictures here.
Yeah, you bet 3 inches the last flood.
In my driveway, I can't even walk out of the house to get in my car.
Do you know what contributed to it with it?
That's all it is.
Right.
I don't even know who's doing it.
Okay.
This goes back on the drive. This was carried over the highway department. This was made the supervisor. They got 36-inch drain down there at the end of my corner drive. Okay, that's something this big. That's everywhere. We got 2 drains that come right down here that Harold Lanier put in and he was the mayor. He put those drains in this drain here and stopped up all the time. It still stopped up. The city come out here and actually tried to clean it out and it still stopped up. This drain into this drain here and it goes underneath the highway and it takes back to the left up to this big old drain in here. It's supposed to be that gigantic drain. It drains down Magwalk Drive back towards back out of the ditch. And everybody here is going to do it. And all of this is supposed to be taken care of. Where this car lot here is, they got another drain down here. This culvert right here was built in 1944. It's got it stamped on the culvert. And all of this water here, it comes down into this street and stops right here. And it backs up on me. All right here is built out of the clock. And y'all are welcome to come to my house, but check it out. It's still got the water washer where the water stays all the time. And my house is 36 inches off the ground. And my den is 19 inches off the ground. Okay? And in my garage is 5.5 inches higher than my driveway. And there, I've got 5 to 6 inches of water in there every time we get a 3-inch rain. Just only one street. I'm trying to speak with everyone in my neighborhood. I got old people in there, got health problems, they couldn't come down there, their stuff goes underwater. This is my car here. Okay, it's on my shirt. I got a chunk of money in this thing, I can't let it go. Y'all can keep this paper.
We appreciate that.
Honest, and third, and then figure it out, and they want to have an idea probably 10 times, done nothing. And this guy here is kind of bought, and he had right out, he looked up on fire pin, he found all these rails and everything, he checked out, he called the day, and put it.
Well, we're gonna make sure we keep this in the record, and all comments, as I said earlier, thank you for your comments. Thank you. I see next, Mr. Charles Brown Senior. Mr. Brown.
Thank you, President.
Thank you, Mr.
My name is Charles Brown Sr. I am a resident of 811 Main Street, Alexander Hagan Village, where I've been a resident for 39 and a half years. I don't have to tell you the situation down there when it comes to drainage. Mr. Johnson, Mr. Lawson, and now Mr. Goins know of the situation down there. When I moved there early 1969, it wasn't so bad, but then they built all houses and things around me, and instead of diverting the drainage a different direction, all the drainage comes down on me, and I get back on the corner where Canal is. We have 2009 drainage, but we have 1940 or 43 culverts there. It cannot handle the water. It is so bad, even the street, where water comes back up under it, and stays there 4 or 5 days. When it recedes, it drains, it pulls the dirt out. The streets, bus, park, and everything there, even the slow walk bumps, they have cracks. My foundation is in bad shape. My driveway is in bad shape. Our former councilman of District 3, I don't want to talk on this, but he has lied to me. Over 18 years, I think we're so done, but I'm just speaking the truth. We're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to do this, and it's all lip service, no action. It's time for a change now. Here, 2 months ago, I came to Mr. Thomas, with Public Works, Mr. Bird, Councilman Goins, and Representative Roy. They were down there and they was looking at the situation down there, and it is hard. And they said they was going to come in and take some tests of the water and everything, and then they was going to clean it out. That was 2 months ago. Haven't heard from them, nor seen them since. It's high time that we stop middle servicing and put it in action. Look, my home is out there, but it's worth $1 million to me, and I take great pride in keeping up my dwelling and the surroundings around me. But when it comes to the part where the water is really taking effect on it, I can't do anything about it. And I have known every time we get 5 or 6 inches of rain here, it cuts me out. So I'm going to ask you now, you say, what can you do to solve this? Well, what we can do to solve is this. Right? That's right. I had met with Mr. Field, I was former District 3 Councilman. And he assured me that we were going to get that thing is that they put boxes in there. Box cover, cover over, make a walking trail out of it. Make a walking trail out of it, and every 100 yards or so, pass through the station, along with exercise equipment. And not only just do that, but you also beautify the community.
This is not, I appreciate Mr. Brown, candid, and this is not a feel-good public hearing. We're here to hear exactly what's going on. We're going to bring solutions. The whole town bring a solution. I think the 3 minutes maybe up so we can actually close. All right.
I thank you for taking the time to get to it.
I think we should have more from us a little bit.
But if you would, just take some action on this, try to give us some relief on that. We've got trees and things that you roll it out, more and more on the streets, and everybody else. So
The intent is to put the money where the problem is. And I have nothing to do.
I got pictures here. I had 18 inches of rain in my hand, and bus cars in the house.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Brown.
I have proof of it.
Yeah, so, okay. We'll see.
Thank you.
Smith, and I see Mr. Paul out there with us.
Mr. Senator, can you come to the microphone, please?
What I wanted to say to the council is that the drawings on Mr. Brown is up there. Mr. Patrick Weir, he did it with EJ, and Mr. Patrick Weir on the drawing, got everything by his house. It's over the engineering office. All he would need was the deep fund. We paid over like $400,000 or $500,000 for engineer design from St. Julian Church back to Paris, Mr. Brown.
We get the fund. Thank you, Mr. Smith. Mr. Joe Johnson, I have Mr. Wally Paul, principal of Brain High School, and believe it or not, my English teacher. And Jump Street, I took the gate.
To the council, president, council members, the mayor of the city, our fellow citizens, and taxpayers. My name is Jewel Johnson. I live at 3723 Street in Martin Park. I'm a long-life resident of the city. And my concern is that, concerning drainage, is does the city have a master drainage plan in place? Are there any dedicated funds available for master drainage improvement for our city and parish? Are there funds allocated for drainage improvement? Can you identify actual construction or reconstruction, and also time phrases for the reconstruction or construction that may be going on? Or can you identify any implementation for any type of drainage construction or reconstruction for 09, 10, or 11? Also, what committees, locally intergovernmental entities, studies, past, present, future, that are actively functioning to assist, to implement, and improve the drainage situation throughout the city and parish? And I'd also like to know, is there need, call, do they need, dates and times, and locations and contact persons? And finally, in concern with protected streets within our parish and city, which I'm well aware of, and you all also, is there any drainage or communication with the EPA ongoing at this present time, or in the past, or even in the future, to get the protected waterways to flow in their natural patterns with the existing man-made structures that are in place?
That was about 8 questions. That was a very good question.
And I don't expect to answer for this, but these are concerns that we do have, and I would like to at least have some sort of written, correspondence to those individuals possible. Thank you. Thank you.
And any questions that's being raised, like, here's my tip. You're gonna get an answer, or you're gonna get, I don't know, you're gonna get, here's how we're gonna solve it. That's a promise. Nancy can hold to that. She's regarding all of that. We'll work with administration to come up with, that information. Mr. Wiley Hall. I know you're a swimmer, but he doesn't like the blood. Great swimmer.
Thank you, Mr. Lawson. Councilman, appreciate y'all having this tonight. I'm Coach Walter Hall, I am the principal at Brady Middle School, and I'm a children's advocate. And that's why I'm here tonight. Everybody knows about Gooseoff. We have 89,000 square feet of instructional space at Brady, and all of it underwater. We still do not have our gym back, and that's since the 1st of September. The other day, it was 23 degrees, I had no place to put my children. They had to sit outside. So that's why I'm here. I love my kids, I love my job, and I'm looking out for those little boys and girls. Second thing, they stole, I was out there with them, I stole. We had a rain, I believe it was December 9th, and I left the swimming pool, and I had to go check on my school. Well, I couldn't get to it. So I parked at Home Depot, and I walked down Roanoke, and I turned the corner of the school, the water was in my belt. And I took my cell phone off, looked it on my collar, I looked around, I didn't see my boss, I didn't see anybody anywhere. I was by myself, except for 2 or 3 people in sandbags in their house. Water to my belt, and I was 50 yards from the front door. I said, oh man, I started praying, not again. These people just had their houses sheetrocked, and some of them got flooded again. That's right. So I know I got 3 minutes in somebody's time, and I'm in a hurry. Okay. So I stayed there in school, it's about 35, 38 degrees, and it's cold. And I stayed till the water started going down, which was a couple of hours. And it was nighttime, so I didn't take any pictures. I got tons of pictures of Gooseoff. But I started literally praying, don't hit us again, man, this is really terrible, this is really bad. My thoughts in conclusion would be, this is 2 times in 4 months. And I've been there for years, I've been in the parish for years, and never had seen that before. So I felt like in the last 2 or 3 years, something was different. And because of that, this rain, because you went down to Jackson that night, December 9th, that
during this flood, so I don't think we ought to take that for granted, as terrible as it was. We were blessed in that sense. I see Dr. Burford Douglas, and I recognize those that they want to recognize one. Dr. Douglas, primary care services.
Good evening to the council. I come on behalf of small business. I had some flooding in my area of my home at West Point, but there in my office in Prescott, everybody's kind of familiar with Prescott Road. There was so much water there. After the flood, there was enough damage that it could get a small business person thinking about whether or not they're in the right place. I talked to some of my colleagues who were down in south of Louisiana who encountered the weather conditions, and they actually left their communities and to move and practice medicine in other places. I say this because I think that if we don't get this under good control, it can have an economic impact on our community. When I came to Alexandria a decade ago, I came here anticipating the growth. You guys have been working real hard to put some things in place to initiate that. And this is something that will stifle businesses from coming here and also current businesses from staying. So I just wanted to make a comment on that and just to say thank you for having this meeting, because my initial feeling was that the floods would be called an isolated event, but I think today what you have shown me is that this is a real problem and you're looking to try to solve it, so I appreciate it.
See Mr. Rod, and then Mr. Beckers.
Good evening, City Council. My name is Chris Carew. I live at 2118 Beaumont on the corner of Beaumont and Prescott. The opposite end from Branch Junior High. The drainage end from Branch Junior High. I got 43 inches of water in my living room. I have my house down to the bricks. I don't know what's really holding up right now, but I have my house down to the bricks. And as the gentleman said, the night on December, when we had to come back through there, I was bulldozing around Branch Junior High, driving through this much water, trying to get back to my house. I don't know, not again. Unfortunately, did not get in the house that day, but it was right to the pad. I've been in that house for 15 years, going on 16 years. And just as the principal had said, I have not seen in all this time, in 4 months, something, dirt, debris, somewhere is blocking the canal or drainage. Because I took a video, I threw a beach ball. Half-inch rain we got a week and a half ago. I threw a beach ball from my house. And there was one in that video of watching the beach ball sit still. There's no running, water's not moving. Water has to run, the water will find its own way to go. It's not. Something's blocking it, either outside the city district, inside and underneath the canals, those little boxes that they have running between here and Broadway and going out the back of Hudson Way. Something is blocking it. I have seen that water come up. We get 5-6 inches of rain, it's going to come up to the properties and come up. But never, ever have I seen it come up that quick, that fast in all these years. Something is, the Corps of Engineers, I'm quite sure the Army Corps of Engineers, the original draft of all these big canals we have. I cannot believe that we cannot just go seek their help. Why spend all this big money engineering firms and private firms when we have these tools? Go in there and show us what we need to clean out, what we need to do, because I know those canals can handle what we have. Over the last 13 years, the city has grown immensely. Good Earth, all these other sections, Dennis knows, and I know water has to seep into dirt. It has to go in the ground, and it's not doing it. But I still believe that in certain fine areas that they're running, I have to believe there's a bigger problem with debris and blockage than the pump house. The pump house is not going to help. The pump house is looking at that, oh, you're only going to make it go in a circle. That's it. So I think one of the best bet money would be is seek the help of the federal government or the state government, the Corps of Engineers or whoever, that are really paying for it. Why do we have to wait for engineering firms, these big six-figure digits that I can't see us wasting that much money?
I think we just have to start studying the problem, do something about the problem. And the easiest way we can do something about the problem is the way we're looking for. So you make a good point with the trouble, quite frankly, to see areas of blood. I know my office is on 7th Street, and I never really had flooding when we saw this.
I think there's a blockage somewhere, and either outside the city, water drains, water will find its course. Somewhere in the last couple of years, like the principal said, something has changed. changed. I don't know what happened, but something has changed enough to where these neighborhoods just flood out just like that, man. And it's not.
We're hearing that enough to be disturbed. We're disturbed.
Good evening, council members. I have a couple of questions first. Mr. Hobbs, you live on Easter Street, and Mr. Johnson, you live on Samuel Street, which is in Warren Park, and I also live in Warren Park. I live on Gilmore. Did either one of your houses get water? Okay. My next thing is, there was a death that happened that day in Gustav. The lady got so much water, and I think she stressed herself to death. She was an elderly lady. And she died. She's 6421 Millmore Boulevard. So she did pass away because of stress that got the water in her house. From Mertens, I live 3 streets down from Mertens. Okay? From my neighbor, Earl Josiah, all the way down, just mostly on the left-hand side till you get to Ellis, was completely flooded. On this side, there's still these people still have not completed their homes. Spencer, Ellis, Paul, it's just no excuse for that. And my analogy is that the pumping stations they put in 2003 were at the corner of Mertens and Millmore. On the other side was Joyce and Mertens. That water still stands on Mertens if it rains. If you would go between 2003 and 2000 and probably until 2006, it will pour rain come for 15 minutes. You have standing water at the foot of the driveway. 15 minutes of rain. I'm not talking about 40 minutes. I'm saying 15 minutes. When I got out of bed, the morning was came, which everybody got flooded. I had water in the back of my house. I had $26,000 in damage, and I'm sure there's people that had more than me. I was fortunate I had flood insurance. But I had my neighbor, if it rains for 5 minutes hard, Gary Davis, he has water. And Mr. Hall, you can attest to this because you're next door at Mr. Josiah's house. So, my point is this. Is there, or was there some type of mandate that was signed years ago that between Paul, the house that sits behind me on Paul Street, and the house that I live in is on Millmore, there's a line there. There's supposed to be some type of canal that was supposed to have been built. The funding was there. The mandate was signed a while ago. Whatever happened to it?
Not until the construction yet, but
Well, how many years is it going to take to not to construction yet? Like Mr. Brown, I agree with all that.
my part is to put the money there. I don't control the engineering part.
Right, but you have city, the city has engineers.
Yeah.
You have a planning commission. You have a zoning commission. Why hasn't it been done? There's no excuse. The way I analyze it is like this. If you go to Dr. Wynn, who lives in the front part behind Bobby Roberts sits behind his house. If you go to him and say, you have 4 valves in your heart, okay? 2 of those valves are blocked. Guess what? The heart is going to keep pumping and keep pumping and keep pumping until finally you have a heart attack. And either you live or you die. But that's what we felt like that day. Nobody came to check on us. Nobody said anything. The only thing I saw was a ambulance from Camp Brewer that came to pick up the slave because the fire trucks can't get through. The ambulances can't get through. You can ask anybody who lives on Ellis or Spencer Street or any of those streets. It's like a war zone back there. There is no excuse for people who have to pay mortgage every month. That is inexcusable and that is not acceptable. That's right. Nothing had ever been done. Because in my backyard, before me and Mr. Josiah built a driveway together, 15 minutes, I counted But then when you get that, when you vote for me, I'll do everything you said. Yes, sir. About 8 to 10 hours to receive. The pumping stations in the front on the corner of Merton and Millmore, they were perfectly fine. But if there's something in the back, there's other people in the back, again, the heart, yeah, your valve. There's a doctor right here, he probably could tell you. If that gets stopped up, guess what? The ones in the front are gonna pump harder, they're gonna pump faster. And this is gonna go out. If you're gonna pass out and die, or, I mean, is that what we're doing? I mean, we have 1940 or whatever year that it was built. You bring us up to 2009, we're already behind the time anyway.
So tell me you about to be on the pretty soon. I can assure you that the dog will be on that.
Well,
I did try to come out there and talk to folks. We're on that. I'm agree with that.
We're concerned about not just one part of this town city, the district that we're in. But I did come out, the National Guard trucks there, I waded through the water in my shoes, up to my waist. I did come out, but this is all over to the scrubber here tonight. Well, the last time I saw your concerns for water came all the way up to the red light, crossing down and Millmore. So I'm aware of what you're saying, and I appreciate what everyone is putting out there to support the output. And I'm real passionate about it. We all got a job to do. We want to see that the work is done.
right, see that the work is done. See, it's not see the work done, but I just want to let you see that the work is done. I do the work that needs to be done. It's not see, everybody on talk, you can talk. But if you don't hear me, or you're not listening to me, there's no point in talking.
I see Mr. President of the Police Jury, Mr. Theo Fontaine, I see Mr. Oliver Overton, and I see Mr. Scott Carey from the Police Jury. And other than please feel free to come forward and make sure you talk to your police jurors. They're probably getting $116 million. So we don't have to let them help this problem. Mr. Mayor.
My name is Harold Banks, and I'm the Vice President of the Woodside Town Safe Street Outreach. I've been working on getting drainage for the Woodside Town since 1996. And we've had problems, we constantly have problems. I think one of our biggest problems is that the canals are not maintained. When Gustav came through, I showed the Director of Public Works where the reason why a lot of the water stayed was because they did not clean out the canal. And at some points, the concrete have fallen into the canal. And then we have so much that the water comes down and backs up. And in the Woodside Downtown area, it just floods regularly. So we just need somebody to do something about it. As the lady said, let us stop talking and let us get things done.
Second row now, Mr. Beast, Brad, this young lady. Let me get Mr. Beast and the young lady on the second row. We'll go down the rows and then we'll close out. This meeting means nothing unless we bring solutions. So trust me, we'll come back and answer the question, and our role is to bring it up. Mr. Beast.
To the councilman, look at it. I'm very I will be sad in my office completed. I worked hard all my life just to have a nice home. During this show, I had 14 brothers from South Carolina running away from the storm. And guess mean nothing to me. You know, just on the show, I believe. A lot of people in my neighborhood didn't get anything done. My next door neighbor, she is still upset. And I'm still upset. You have to be there to see it. All that water and all that sewage that backed up now is sewage. And we have pump stations. I haven't done it in 20 years. I wonder what happened that the pumps were not working. Now they put them pumps on 2 days after that and all that water went down and you could get home. What happened to the pump station? I would like to know.
It's accountability. I'll answer that one. We'll back up a little bit. One thing I got out of this, is accountability and notifying neighbors when we have neighbor situations. Yes, ma'am.
I'm here on the phone.
Please name for the record, will you clear, please?
Martha Cather. I live on Rowan, right across the street from Brighton, City Line. So, you know, everybody knows what happened to Rowan. I do not have a solution to this problem, but I have a question. What takes priority with a city? Our infrastructure, in this case our drainage, or buying trolley cars to put downtown? Hotels. And all
It's different pockets of money, but I do understand your point. The reason we do right now, and I said this privately, my number one priority, I think people, the other members up here, is safety and welfare of citizens. This is certainly safety and welfare, so just watch where we spend the money. That's what I'm committed to. Yes, sir.
Good evening. My name is Albert Green Sr. I live in what most people still call Army Courts. Actually, it's not. The water on my street, I've been there about 8 years. I moved back here and bought this house on McHenry. From North 16, beyond my home at my father's church, there is about 10 minutes of pouring rain before it's flooded up to the car tires. 10 minutes. Now, I do say one thing, and I do appreciate this. Councilman Ed Lovedan and Mr. Thompson, T.W. Thompson, both came out and recognized our problem. And fellow citizens, things do get done and does happen. Just fortunately, we all sat on pedestals where I live. I'm not like most of you who have flat homes on the ground and the water could come up into your home. But what it did to my home, it made my home drop. So I have all kinds of busted pipes, sewage lines gone, you know, all the rigmarole. My insurance company still hasn't stepped in and not a thing yet. Okay, so I'm out of pocket. And I really can't be affording to be out of pocket over the storm. Now, since the storm, the city has come up and stood tall for my crop. I asked them to take a look at the 2 drains on each side of the road. Those are the only 2 drains we have on that street. Now, they have come out and pumped old drainage from 16 all the way down to the drains where I live. They put new grates there. They built a new concrete pad over it and put in metal slates so that it would stop some of the debris. But still, before that, now we haven't had before the rain since the last one, I think, was around December 9th or something like that. But we haven't really had a bad rain but once, and that was at night. Unfortunately, I was asleep, so I couldn't take pictures. But I had a video where water is up to my knees area. And I'm not sure about any other street out there. I'm sure there are other streets, but I'm very sure about the one I live on. And it should not take 10 minutes. I know I have to go. Shouldn't take 10 minutes of pouring rain to flood a street, homes, and people in. And I'm trying to call somebody because it's over. Okay, the line's all there. Can't get out. And when you want to get out, you get in your vehicle to try and get out of there. The only thing you can do is wade through the water.
That's one of the issues we're going to have to address too, is give the resources to the administration. I think we've already located a truck that can go to police high waters to rescue folks, and that was a donation. But we got to make it issue to make sure we get the people, but it's not lying on the floor, we're not able to get the trucks in. Yes, sir. Road 2, go down and go back.
My name is Fred Madison. I live at 1507 Shannon Road, Delray, Shannon Road. Built that house in 1956. We had that big rainstorm for about 23 years ago. We had a 17-inch rainfall in 24 hours. My house did not get flooded then. We get this school top out through there, and I get 8 inches of water. My house. Okay, that's 50-some odd years. We have definitely got a drainage problem. Also, that drainage ditch right behind my house was stopped up with all kinds of debris from the courtyard. They had railroad ties, telephone poles, their walking track. That all flooded into the canal, stopped that, all the course, stopped it. That's the reason my house got flooded, plus all the other down below. Well, the solution, the main solution, I think, we've got a wonderful river here. Why can't we take all this drainage, dig a ditch to that river, and get rid of this water once and for all, rather than worry about it going south? Let's just put it in the river. Why not spend some money right there, put some stations in there, and pump this water out of here?
That's a good point. That's one of the things I think has been discussed. The spouse is at 100 million. I heard that certainly probably would be easy. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, I'm Susan McLaughlin. I'm the Dr. Alan in the office and the hospital balance. I have a similar concern as the top level to the business aspect, that, we can't afford not to function as a business. We can't afford to be shut down. We're not in an area that's supposed to flood. We're going to try to help the community take care of patients and work in that aspect. And if we have to be concerned every time that it rains, that water's going to come into our business as well as the homes behind us. I'm aware that 6 houses behind us have been torn down because of the flooding and the destruction of the residential churches that is out of area. I just want to make sure that this speaks a little bit to the businesses who are concerned about this and concerned about maintaining our ability to operate as a business in this area.
It's a big area that hasn't done it before. Remember that. We're going to try to bring solutions.
I live on Shannon Road, and I got 6 inches of water in my house. Fortunately, I had flood insurance, and the estimate was adjusted, it was $65,000 for damage. I just got back in my house on the 15th of December, and the next day, it came another flood, and got over 3 feet of my carport. And these drains are full of crud. They need to be cleaned out. My daughter's son came to my house and cleaned the drains off with a straw in a plastic bag, but they could see all the stuff down in the drainage. And it needs to be a systematic, by street, I think, to get rid of all that. They've been there 51 years, and this is the first time they had one. And the night of the 1st of September, we had water up our curb, and some food in a white pickup came flying down through there, flooding people's houses. And he wasn't satisfied with one food, he turned around and came back. Somebody should have got his tire out.
Those kind of things we have to solve. The young lady to your right hand, please, I think was next.
My name is Judy Gardner, and I'm here representing my son. He lives on the corner of Prescott and Roanoke. When the hurricane came, he got like 3.5 feet of water in his house and lost everything he owned. And he started slowly trying to fix up his house and put the new sheetrock in. And of course, when December came, it rained again, and he got 8 more inches of water in his house. Well, I have the same questions that everybody else does, but the question that I would like to ask that I hadn't really heard addressed is any new developments that are done in the city from this point forward, can we put new development codes that require zero stormwater runoff? I mean, is that a possibility while we're looking at all these long-term?
It should be contained most of it, that's actually the point. It's opposite in that case because I don't think with the concrete that's in the building area, it's contained all the water. What we will do, I think, I hope we address the waters, that anytime major construction, that we have some type of guarantee from a civil engineering firm who is certified that this will not cause a problem on your neighbors. I think we have maybe some soft language and ordinances, might have maybe something we can tweak. Y'all bring it forward.
It seems like all the things that we've discussed are pretty well long-term fixes, so we need something, that can be done in the short term that might couple in. Because like my son, they just stopped working on their house. I mean, you can't every time it rains have to go rip out your whole house and start all over again.
One thing we're listening to, we're being on trying to stop overtime in the city of Los Angeles next to them. But the one thing we're not going to stop, I'm pretty sure, is overtime to correct drainage. I think that's probably what we're going to put some more money. If your drainage has not been cleaned in several years, that's kind of call we need to hear. That's kind of money we need to put towards funding our streets and parks to make sure those drains are clear. Let's allow that.
Let me say something real quick. If you have a problem with drainage, if you have debris, please call the Public Works Department. They're riding around every day. Call them on District, City Council District 1. Call them, they're going to address the problems. Now, understand, I'm glad you're all here. It means a lot that you talk about issues, you tell us about neighborhoods. We don't know unless you tell us. What you're saying, listen, we're taking notes, Windermere, Carlton, England, Water Park, Green, Jackson Street, Prescott, Woodside, Water. Everything you tell us, we're going to address that. You've been here to talk about the SMART project, we're trying to do Versailles, we're building up infrastructure. Before we spend any money on infrastructure, we have to deal with drainage, and that's why we're here. Understand we've been talking about fast track for 2 years. We're not going to touch fast track unless we touch drainage. It would be foolish for us to build new neighborhoods, build new streets, and we have water just laying in it. That's not what we want. Our job is to hear your concerns. We're going to present it to the administration. These are the trouble spots. Let's pull the water out the neighborhoods. Once we pull out the neighborhoods, then we start building infrastructure. There's nothing moving in the city. If you look around, we want to move on projects, but the drainage is the first thing we have to address, and that's why we're here. Drainage is priority 1, no ifs, ands, and buts. We've got money built the budget to call the administration, we have numbers, we have a website. Tell us if there's debris, if you see your neighbor pushing grass in drains, tell them please, because a lot of times we pump out, we have trash or grass, we have a whole lot of stuff with drainage. But call us, tell us, because we have crews running all day. They get paid by us, we budget their salary, they're responsible for you and your neighborhood. We don't like any item in the bottom. Business, personal, when a recession runs tight. It's tough, everybody got to cut back. But don't be afraid to call the city. If you see debris, tell us. If you see the drain is not plugged up, call us. We're constantly riding, their job to unclog and make sure water's flowing. Don't go home and complain to your wife. Call somebody. T.W. Thompson is the public works director. He does a super job. When I call him, he responds. And so when you have a problem, please call. That's why he works. We control the budget. We control the employees. So don't sit there and complain about this. Just make a phone call. Bring it to our attention. This is our really first meeting on drainage because this is important. This is important. We go to the river acting about drainage. There's nothing more important than drainage. The gentleman from the mill company comes to every, raise your hand, sir, Mr. Red. He comes to every board meeting and talk about drainage. That's first and foremost. Don't think it does not affect us. That's important. That's why we're here listening. Thank you.
People who are website savvy, who uses the internet, the website, does anybody know the
And this is the person who's starting running trouble all the city all around. So bring it to our attention real quick.
My name is Robert Branch. I live in the Lake District. I did not have any plumbing problems. But we obviously have a problem. I think we hear the roads, the houses, the schools, and you're aware of it. I question, and as much as I appreciate your time and effort in trying to resolve this through public meetings, I question if we're going to get any resolution before we get the problem properly defined. As much as I like the gentleman's suggestion of using the Corps of Engineers, if you want to see it in this 10 years, this decade, you better have another answer. We have civil engineers. We need to define the problem. We need to work on getting a solution. From politicians, no insult intended, is you're going to tell me what is your responsibility and what isn't, and there's dirt the things, and there's this, and there's that, and there's more concrete and so forth. That is not defining the problem. And we won't get an answer until we get it defined, and then you guys will respond to it because you know it's important. I appreciate it.
But a meeting like tonight will make you respond to it. That's why this is not a feel-good meeting. There's a guy here we're blessed to have probably as talented as anyone by the name of Frank Willis that specializes in this. We're going to bring results. Because the question is, he's a finance director. Not Frank Willis.
To follow what this gentleman just said, in defining the problem, we're all here taking notes, and we have people from the administration taking notes as well. What we'd like to encourage everyone to do is, in your areas, designate a group or a spokesperson and contact the planning department. And let's set up, we had a meeting last night with a smaller group, let's set up some smaller group meetings with the administration. I feel like I'm talking the wrong way, you know, these folks, but, okay, so that we can come to your area, talk to you about specific problems in your area. You're laying them out here tonight, but there's a lot of them, and we're taking notes, and that way we can come to your area like we did last night. It worked very well, and get a narrower scope, just as you said, to define them so that we can get specific resolution for your problem. So, if you would have your area, not necessarily the neighborhood, it could be multiple neighborhoods, designate a person, contact the planning department, and we'll set up a meeting with that group from that area and further define the problem so that we can narrow in on it. But anyway, thank you. I didn't want to take time from the public.
And please, man, I think we'll give another 10 minutes, we'll wrap up. Anyone home? My name is Douglas Say that My name is James McDonald. I live at 1907 Choctaw Drive. The only reason, most everybody has expressed most of the problem that we have on our street, and, you know, it's the same thing with the diversion canal that passes the brain and put it in the neighborhood. So I'm not going to tell you anything new. What I didn't hear anybody say was a timeline. And I thought the timeline of how it occurred and when it happened was very interesting. I woke up at about 4:30 in the morning when my 95-pound German Shepherd jumped on me, which he knows he's not allowed in bed, so I think something had to be wrong. So when I got out of bed, I noticed that my carpet was floating. So the water had come in from the back of the house into the house and was going then out the front door, where it was met by, of course, more water. About 5:30, I woke up my wife and I couldn't stop the water anymore, and I said, you know, I think we're going to have to leave the house. So I pulled my P-robe up to the back of the door, tied it to my dresser, and loaded some things into it, put it in the back of my truck, and we left. I dropped my wife off at my father-in-law's house in Frisco in the Lake District, and then went to check on our pastor, who was a single lady living far from my house. Checked on her and I went to my parents' house. I told them that I was fine. I then tried to go back to my house. By that time it was probably 10:30. The water was gone. I had 10 inches of water in my house. It disappeared. There wasn't a drop left on the street. To me, it felt like somebody had just pulled the drain plug out of the bathtub. Something had changed, you know, obviously. And I talked to my neighbors who said, you know, if you live here 25 years, live here 30 years, some very well-known people in the community, Margaret Capolco and Luke Capolco, they had never seen anything like that on that street, and they've been on that street since it was built. Fortunately, their house didn't flood, most of the rest of them did. It was just an interesting timeline, and I wanted to, you know, I don't know what it's worth. The diversion now is full when I drive past. So, you know, I don't know where the water on my street went, but it went somewhere. Good questions. Okay. I don't know what's it.
My name is Gloria Newton. I live at 1207 Kendall Street. And to the council and the citizens and family. I would like to know tonight with rain. Where I live right now, we have a bunch of debris of people fixing their houses. If it rains hard tonight, it's going to be. And it's because the water's going to pick the trash up and it's going to cover the drains. And these summer when it's good, the only reason my husband and I were looking at the news, and my husband said, that's what it's like, we need to go put the cars over to Home Depot. When we went outside, the water was all over the back doors. And it hadn't been raining for maybe an hour. The water did reflow by the end. It didn't get in before the house. But we all, my neighbors, but we walked down to the drain, and the drains were stopped up with debris that had come out of all the houses in the neighborhood. Because very few people in all our streets, very few people on Kimberly, Mohawk, and Warner. There's nobody in those type of people. It's this time of year here. So our biggest problem is the drain. The trash. If the city employees will come and pick up the trash and the people pull it out of the houses, it probably wouldn't flood that area today. I can understand why I put it in good stuff in the storm, because there's so much water. But we don't have that kind of water now raining for 15 or 20 minutes in the spring. And I'm just saying, I always see anybody around town. I see pictures of garbage, but not trash, not debris. And we still have a lot of work for people that's going on their own.
And also, thank you for those comments. What's important to you and to us is that you got to police those areas. If you see someone put the trash and debris close to drains or any drains, you know what the problem lies. Please report it. Please help us with it by talking about the worst department.
I know time is getting near, so I want to shorten it, but if we can just deal with issues that may be pressing, not just like we appreciate it. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you. My name is Raymond Bamberg. I'm not my oldest, but I have a friend observed the flooding for a number of years. I like the gentleman's, that's the suggestion I have, is to look at something to send limits to Alexander to try to pump the water in the Red River instead of trying to get everything down Chapman Lake. Because if we look at what's happening here to us, the drainage did work until we kept building and building and building, and that's what we want the city to do, is build. And I'm not a member of the city, so I don't live in the city limits, so I do a little for it, but don't hold that against it. But we built more houses, and we poured more concrete, and we don't have anywhere for the water to move. And so we try to get it all, we try to get it down, out of the city. We look at Rapides, if I'm not mistaken, we've got a gate there to put water into the diversion canal of Bayou Rapides. We take that on over to Bayou, and that goes on down to Bayou, and then it comes into Bayou Roberts. And up here you got the horseshoe canal, and this here goes on to Chapman Lake Canal, which is down here about the Hodges Home. But the problem is, we aren't doing anything about the outlet down there. To build a subdivision, you put the sewage in so it can handle all the sewage. Well, we haven't done anything. Our drainage that worked 30 years ago is obsolete now. I've got a property down on Chapman Lake, if you wonder why it's that one of the reasons. And that dugout, that Bowling Pipe was dug out years ago, in the 30s, I was told, and nothing's been done to that since then. I had timber cut on my property, we cut trees on that bayou bank that had grown up since that bayou was excavated. So we need to look at some way to get the water into Red River, because everybody's putting water in Chapman Lake. It's not able to handle all that.
I'm sure it's going to be one of the things that will be brought to by the engineering, as he said.
Because people that just cannot handle it. We get water on Twin Bridges Road, and the county even takes their water back there.
And quite honestly, we don't want to ruin things out there with the walls. So it's also,
so if we could get the water in the Red River, I think it would get away from us.
Thank you, sir.
Good evening, Mr. County. I'm Dr. Allen, and I serve as superintendent over Ruth Church in this area. When Ruth started us, it really hurt people. I think it's probably been 7 years since I've been to a council meeting. I don't come, I let y'all deal with politics. I try to have people on a spiritual level. But I come here tonight to say this. Y'all need to fix the drainage system in this community. I don't mean that in any disrespect. We don't need you to become political football, kick it back and forth between the county and the mayor. We need the problem fixed. And they say to me all the time, we have one people to hear you speaking in preacher's voice. Tonight I'm speaking in my preacher's voice.
I'm David Skio. My business is at 3800 Restaurant, just down the street from Parkview. We flooded during Gustav, and that may have been 100-year flood. Let's say that was. But the rain that we had in December was not. You know, that happened in an hour's time. Now, in both times, both the Gustav and the December rain, the water was reversing out of the drains into our subdivision. I saw it, and Gustav, one of my neighbors, saw it. We have a problem with maybe the check valves in the drains. Those need to be cleaned out to make sure that when the water backs up in the canal, it doesn't flood the lower subdivisions, which may be what happened to several of the people's homes tonight that we heard. There are lower areas, and these that we have more and more water in the canals. The
water sickness on level. If these shack valves or these gates are not kept clean, the water will burst and go into these little subdivisions, such as where my business is located. That's number one thing that I think y'all can address. The second thing is that there's a drainage that has not been cleaned for years, and it lies behind Fireside Plaza, right next to the motel, and I talked to this third time, he came out. My wife and I dug it up, and it was about 2 feet of debris, and it's an open drain. That whole area needs to be cleaned out, and proper drainage should be put in place. And that would help alleviate some of the flooding on those streets down that.
That's the 2 easy points that we deal with.
Yes. Thank you.
My name is Linda Carroll, and I live in the Bow Cottage subdivision. We built our home 2.5 years ago. During the storm, the water nearly got to our house. In December, we had another flood that almost got to the house. This is a brand new area, and all of the concrete in my driveway is all split, breaking. Hopefully, the house is not cracking inside. We also have a whole new subdivision behind the house that is to be built. And it will be more concrete, no drainage in the area. So I think we should put a moratorium on any permits to build anything until we figure it out. They are still building. We have 2 new constructions. And if that area, right to that this, gets flooded, over the concrete, more concrete, we're going to be totally flooded. I'm a husband, and I relocated here from New Orleans. He's an emergency medicine physician, and, he thought we would retire here. I'm so frightened with hurricane season approaching us that I'm almost ready to sell my home, and half the people in Bow Cottage is. So I'm coming here with a plea from everyone in Bow Cottage who are ready to sell all this week. And I'm loving here now, I really do. I feel right at home, but I'm always in fear of flooding, and Travelers Insurance is not going to keep giving me flood insurance. And I'm supposedly in a no-flood zone, and that's how you all are permitting everyone to build. Half the people in Bow Cottage do not have flood insurance. So I am asking you all, please do not build any more of anything in our area. I would like to say, thank you, City Council members, for having this event. Since we started the legislature, I've been filling my hours voices concerning the drainage system. I'm here representing the people in the Jones Street area. Mr. Monday, I might have added to the list because it wasn't one of those. My parents live on 13th Street. Thank you. My parents live on 13th Street. Though, if anybody's familiar with that area, it's mostly elderly people who have lived there many years. Every time there's a flooding situation, I have to get a lawyer because my mother is wheelchair bound, and I have to get to her pretty quickly because during December the water was moving rapidly. So I thought the water wasn't moving at all. It was coming down from the skies, but it wasn't flowing out the street. I heard it here, excuse me, my voice was cracking. I heard it here said many times tonight, it's our maintenance of our drainage system. And I can attest to that because we made several calls that night, my brother and I, trying to get somebody to come out. We called every city number to no avail. We called the city councilman who had no phone number listed. Eventually, the water was getting so high, my brother decided to call Mr. Roy. Prior to calling Mr. Roy, we did get one answer from a city worker who said they couldn't come to that area. We called Mr. Roy. They were there within 10 minutes.
every big truck in this town was there in 10 minutes. They maybe within 20 minutes after they arrived, there was no water on the street. They did something that there was a gentleman here who said that the water was gone just in a few minutes. That's how it happened there. They used a vehicle that pumped out something under the drain. I don't know what that was, but that's something that needs to be addressed. Ms. Walker, I don't know if you recall it, many years ago, you grew up in the area I did. Well, the city needs to come out and clean those drains, not just the leaves on top, but they would go underneath and clean those drains out. We need to have some accountability and some maintenance done. The other thing I would like to see addressed, and I mentioned this, one other thing I want to get out in December, Mr. Thompson, T.W. Thompson, and those guys from the city who came out that night, let me tell you, they were wonderful. I don't know what they did, but those guys were wonderful. They were in that water with their hands trying to talk those drains and what have you, because those people are elderly. They can't get out on their own. They need assistance. Chapman Lake. Sometimes Chapman Lake is running in the opposite direction of what it normally flows in. So I would like to see that addressed as well. Why does that happen? I've asked several people about it. Nobody seems to know. And I think that's basically all I have right now. But if you all could, hey, walk the walk and talk the talk. Talk the talk and walk the walk. That's what I like to see done.
Mr. Councilman, how y'all? Ginger Mullen, I live on Crestwood Drive by my girlfriend. We've been having some work done on our drainage lately, and the state had put some culverts under the ground that was 36 inches. They put 2. They want to put us some drainage in that's going to be 24 inches. So I called and I told them, obviously the engineers and whoever's not working together. Everything's all at all now since I called. I called Mr. Bird, Mr. Thompson, both. And the mayor was the one that asked me to get over to them in the house pretty quick. But we were promised, we moved in our house in 82. About 30 years ago that we would get underground drain. Well, we're still waiting on it. This has been since 1982. Anybody got anything?
The response is taken 82.
Construction has started, construction started, and I wasn't aware that
Councilman, you should be.
Because our engineer told us that the construction was started due to the rain. After the first year, the construction was started. He did not tell us there was a hold-up because of pipe size. Now, this is the first I'm hearing of it.
Well, I've been talking to Ms. Bird, and he asked me to call the city engineer. Our name is Wilbur. And he has not returned my call.
But this is what because we were about Crestwood 2 weeks ago, and they said due to the rain that the construction was slow and that it would start up. And that's what we got. So,
well, I don't know.
Small pipe.
Well, like I said, this has been since December 18th. Mr. Wilson has not called me back. I had it on my phone right there. I called Mr. Bird that day. I mean, there's just no communication. You know, you can't, your right hand and your left hand can't work together. They can't work like that. Opposites and get anything accomplished.
We appreciate that.
Thanks.
Hi, my name is Misty Davis. I live at 2107 Beaumont Street. I don't recall the street number is here, please.
What are your Beaumont?
We're on the Prescott end of Beaumont.
Yeah, I have the brain junior high.
Okay, well, Brandon's here. I had that there, I just want to make sure we're covered.
Okay.
I also have pictures of the September 3rd flood. The Prescott end of Beaumont, we are being pulled up to it in the boat at 4.5 feet of water. There's no water on Prescott. We have deep. My husband was called for the second flood in December by a city worker when the mayor came out that night. We hadn't seen the mayor at all the first 30 days of the flood. Nothing. We lost everything. Nothing. Nobody showed up. We were there for 3 weeks, gutting our own house. He showed up that night, and my husband was told by a city worker, his theory of the problem was, imagine a bathtub full of water. Somebody sits in that bathtub. What happens to the water? The water flows out. Home Depot's in our bathtub. Now, for whatever reason, I'm not an engineer, not a contractor, don't claim to be, but all that should have been taken into consideration. We lived in this house for 13 years. It rained more Monday night at Hurricane Gustav than it did Tuesday night when it flooded. I know, I was up all night. So the water got up to my door. The second night, I had 24 inches in my house. And my water was not just rainwater. My water was sewer water. I have a report to prove it. I'm trying to be as nice as I can be. But, you know, something's got to be done quickly. Me and my children, we're in this house. We don't know what we were exposed to, anything else, and even anybody else that lives. I came out from Mohawk, Roanoke, and Cuban. But I know it goes farther than that. So, you can look, I have pictures. That was not just rainwater and mud at all.
I saw it over there. Now, he was aware of probably considered a tremendous engineer for us.
I got notes, Mr. Wall.
He's drafted.
I'll help y'all, I'll give you some ideas on it.
You have a rule, yes, Mr. Wilson. Yes, sir. We're going to close out some other burning questions.
Mr. Lockland has Shannon Road on that list.
Yes, sir. If you will, any roads that we list that we need to, why don't you just show how? Okay, what is that? All Jackson?
Plantation Acres.
Plantation.
Roanoke.
Bluebird.
Alexander Drive.
Alexander Drive, Chicago. Yes, sir.
Reggie Avenue.
Reggie Avenue.
Off the jail, Fortune.
San Antonio, Missouri. Yes, ma'am. 36th Street, 4th Street. My neighborhood is that.
Aaron Street, have not taken on your school.
Yes, Aaron Street, and that is.
Custer's Drive.
Custer's Drive.
Custer's Drive.
Custer's Drive.
That is between Gate and Mackinac.
Between Gate and Mackinac, yes, sir. Windermere, yes. I was with Windermere with the sister. It's the same area out there. 9th and Leonard, who had 9th and Leonard.
Navajo Trail.
Navajo Trail.
Up the, up towards Prescott end of Navajo.
Prescott side. Lake Side Drive. Charles Circle.
Culpeper.
The city of Alexandria.
Slab, so it was a city. Yes, sir.
Thank you. My name is Ben Pierce. I'm a new resident of Alexandria, and I work for a local planning and massive architecture firm. So I can offer a little bit of a planning perspective to this. I have some knowledge of the SPARK initiative. I just want to see how that money would actually go to help with the drainage. That's one comment. I guess the main thing is that we need to understand drainage issue at the source. That's putting more impervious surfaces, unnecessary removal of trees, and poor planning exercises, meaning putting homes and businesses in areas that are susceptible to flood. One of the issues that I read in the CRA 1 called for development on Sugar House Road. And I understand that, I think that may be District 3, if I'm not mistaken. There's definitely some things that need to happen down there to better the lives of the people. But that Trails Road is actually in a flood zone, so we're talking about a project that would be placed right in the flood zone, causing more problems. So just looking at those and understanding that, the projects that we're trying to put in place, how we're not going to cause more problems in the future. So smart planning. One of the things, being a new resident of the city, I moved here in late October, so after the hurricane, and there was an issue with finding a place to live. I hadn't sold my home in a previous state where I'm living, so I had to go and rent. There was no apartments to live in that I could actually afford. So we could be thinking about how we can attract developers to the area that actually have homes for when these issues be happening, for people to actually have a place to live. It almost became an issue where I did not move to Alexandria because I couldn't find a place to live. I had to live somewhere else where I'm not paying city taxes. So how can we bring developers in to help that? I'm originally from Lafayette, who was obviously affected by hurricanes in the past. They're really growing with apartments and places for people to live, so let's think about that. I think really when it comes to the SPARK initiative, we need to figure out, I think it's an issue of bringing people and businesses to town, revitalizing the city, versus helping current residents. The floods, I think this was mentioned by someone earlier, are going to have a real negative effect on bringing those pieces. So we need to make sure we understand the key issues here, but how are we going to grow? We can't forget about that growth, because those are things that are going to make us stagnant, and then nothing's going to happen. So I think we need to work in hand, we need to grow, but we also need to solve our same issues. So I'll close with that.
Bush Street area and all Simmons and Westmont, now other available to you. None of this area flooded in over 50 years. My mother's been living there. It's never flooded. There's been massive construction done at Brady Hospital. Was any drainage considered in all this construction? Extra drainage.
I believe on this David, and I know you won't have that now, but both factors David and Ms. Justin Willis, the best, and Val and other engineers have been higher, that they're not going to be a lot smarter analysts for what you know. This is a problem. It's not going to happen again in your hours. And we'll have some certifications. I agree, I would be shocked that they are flooded. I mean, that was happening almost inches of it. Normally when a new construction, particularly was the side of the hospital, they normally due diligence done, correct?
Mr. Walton, the city sometimes on large developments has a requirement for stormwater retention. Perhaps, and I'm not knowledgeable of the development in Cabrini, perhaps Cabrini was enlarged without that. There has always been, and I will tack on what I knew from Mr. Matthews, there's always been a problem with a restriction at Prescott trying to get water under MacArthur Drive. Each one of these things has a little story to it, and we'll have to look at it, but everybody's always known that there's a problem on Prescott trying to get water under MacArthur Drive. The city did work on one side of Prescott, and they did work on the other side, and then there was the blockage at MacArthur. Everybody knows it, but we've never had a way to address it, and maybe one of the things on the list. The list is many. The only thing I could say is each one of these, some technical people have to look at it, the city will have to address it. The biggest fear that I think the consultant or the engineering community would have to say is I don't really know if anybody really wants to touch this on a piecemeal basis, because I think tonight for the community, we obviously have vision that we're going to try to address it not half-heartedly but wholeheartedly. And to do that, it takes a commitment for capital. All of the work that Mr. Matthews did, or in his term, was he addressed problems with the limited resources that he had. When a council member reported a problem, we can address a little problem. But it overlooked the big dollars, and we're gonna have to figure out how we address the big dollars. Because I can tell you tonight, Mr. Willis can tell you, I'm not gonna speak for any engineers in here, I could bid a ditch as big as this room, but on the right soil conditions, I could still flood if we have backlog flooding. And I think tonight you guys are saying, no, we want to solve even that problem. Outfall of the river, pumpage. Here's another concern I'm in on this. Everybody says, let's put some gates to the river. The outfall of the river study that my dad, Mr. Myers, worked on. I told somebody this. My dad is dead, Mr. Myers is dead, I'll be dead if you decide the Corps of Engineers are going to work on it. We won't see it in my lifetime, so it'll just go on. We're going to address it locally, we address it ourselves. Here, we put a gate in. The study said 88% or 82% of the time the gate to the Red River will work. My big fear is just our luck. We're going to spend some huge amount of money to get an outfall, and the day we have a river cut, we have the storm, and the city floods, and the river's at flood stage, and we get a flood, and we're messed up. So I think tonight, we're saying, no, we just can't have those probabilities of failure. You said we want to go all the way, and we've got to look at it very, very seriously, and it takes a commitment, the citizens to stand behind it, and the people who find the money to help us do it. I will tell you, we're going to solve locally if we want to solve, or if we think we're going to go to the Corps, we'll waste our time. That's my life's experience.
We're going to address this one, Senator. Thank you. Time we're going to call out, Mr. Redmond. Go ahead.
So the only thing I have to say is everybody says retention ponds. They put a retention pond out in front of Kmart. They put a retention pond out in Home Depot. When I tell everybody, after rain, if you anyway you tell them like everybody, there's not a drop of water in it. I took Mr. Zach, he was with me, and we looked at all of it. And there was no water in it. He said we could show you short and didn't know what to do about it.
Thank you. We'll see if he has, this was fact-finding, we'll bring some solutions.